How many of us can say that a lifelong dream has become a reality? For most it remains a dream, but not for our neighbor Brian Alsop. After he received his pilot's license in 1988, he and 20 others had shared ownership of 3 little airplanes. But Brian wasn't satisfied with this arrangement after a few years and decided to build his own aircraft. It was an expensive and ambitious undertaking, but he is a determined man. Brian owned an electronic factory with plenty of floor space, and it was here he began assembling his Europa 2-seater in 1997. When I saw his masterpiece 2 years later, he felt the completion date was getting quite close.
Well, the aeroplane is a Europa XS. It's an aeroplane which is described as a kit aeroplane. Though, having said that, the kit comes in the form of the main mouldings top and bottom, which a lot of engineering work has to be done on, it has to be joined together. The fundamental features of the aeroplane are that the wings come off, so that by removal of a couple of pins inside the cabin, pull the pins out and the wings will come off so that they can be carried separate to the aeroplane. Tailplanes also come off in a similar fashion, so the whole thing can be mounted onto a trailer and taken to the nearest airfield or place where you can fly from for that particular day. The airplane is equipped with a Rotax 912S engine, which delivers 100 horsepower at takeoff, and it's enough to get out of a very short airfield quite quickly. The design and building of this system in here probably accounts for at least a quarter of the time spent on building the aeroplane, and well, some people have it done professionally, some of us choose to do it all ourselves, and it's a matter of pride and choice as to how you do the colouring and the layout.
And how does your wife feel about all this? Is she quite happy about going flying with you?
She says she's quite happy about going flying with me. I've fixed it up so the seat's very comfortable for her, and it's got her own personal CD system in that she can sit and listen to while we're flying through the headsets. And there's a tray there for her to put the coffee on and have the sandwiches from. There's no reason at all why she shouldn't feel quite comfortable about flying. There's no reason at all why one shouldn't go down to the south of France in this aeroplane. It flies about 150 miles an hour, and it consumes about 3 gallons per hour. So that means it does about 50 miles to the gallon. It has sufficient range to get to the south of France in one go, though I think you probably find it more comfortable to stop halfway. A flight down to Jersey or to north of Scotland is a relatively short flight.
Like what, a couple of hours?
You certainly get down to Cornwall in a couple of hours.
Oh, could you?
And get to France and Paris comfortably in a couple of hours too.
And do you hope to do that?
Well, one of the advantages of owning your own aeroplanes, and perhaps one of the biggest motivation of building an aeroplane to this specification, which does fly nice and fast, is that you don't have to bring it back until you want to come back. You can go away on holiday and it can stay there with you until you decide it's time to come home.
Yes.
By building your own aeroplane, you cut down the cost of flying enormously to the point where it's no longer an embarrassment. And it's your aeroplane to take wherever you want to and to do whatever you want to do with.
And do you plan to park this literally in your garage? Or do you,
It won't be parked. It will, because it takes the pieces, it will go onto its own trailer, as much as a glider does.
Yes.
And will be pushed and parked, probably, in this area here. or
Oh,
as a
right.
garden
Not by your house. No.
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 Nice to have it somewhere secure.
Yeah.
Fully loaded, this particular aeroplane will take off at a full load of 1,370 pounds, which allows for 2 fully grown adults, full fuel tanks, and 80 pounds of luggage.
What are you going to call this aircraft?
Well, Sylvia and I decided to christen it Sadie. There's an old song called Sadie, Sadie, Naughty Lady, which she ain't going to be.
Well, I wish you every luck in the world. I was overjoyed when Brian invited me to go flying with him a few months after completion. There are so many system checks to go through before takeoff, and these have to be repeated before each flight. It was my first experience in such a small aircraft, but I was not at all frightened, just excited. We flew over Chesterfield and Matlock. And had a lovely bird's eye view of Chatsworth. Derwent Dam looked impressive in spite of the mist. I could certainly appreciate Brian's love of flying as we covered many miles in comfort. Several years have passed since I flew with Brian, and I knew he had kept very busy. I was pleased when he asked if I wanted to see the little airfield where Sadie is securely locked up until she is needed for the next flight. Do you realize, Brian, it's 5 years or more since I went flying with you?
Is it really as long ago as that?
It is.
Well, I seem to recall that when we last spoke, I was talking about being able to use my aeroplane to get around a bit here and there, and I certainly be able to do that. I've been throughout Europe. I've been through France, Italy, Belgium, Germany, Holland, even down into Croatia and back in it. And it affords me immense pleasure to go around and take the aeroplane out to places like France for a few days and sit in the evening, enjoy the weather and the evening ambience. And today I'm off on a little trip to see some friends. It's a nice day, and just get in my little aeroplane and fly off, and we'll come back. And that's what I call a dream come true.